ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So some very important lessons we can learn from these incidents, which we often come across in our day-to-day life, and these can serve as a very good example for us to practice Krishna consciousness in this material world, where a lot of such situations we will also face in our Krishna conscious life. So, Lord Shiva is teaching some very important lessons, how this material world works, how our emotions work, how a person who is attached to relatives, to this material body, that means one is asakta, he is attached. How he is subject to different kinds of situations in this material world, and how he reacts to those situations. Bhagavatam also gives example about how a person who is self-realized, he comes across varieties of different situations in his life, and how does he react to such situations. So this gives us a very good examples and understanding how we should aspire for, that how I should react to the different happenings which occurs in this material world. So, Lord Shiva had told Sati that even if one is one's relative, one should not go to his house if that person is disturbed in his mind. And in his behavior, he looks at the guest with raised eyebrows and with anger in his eyes. So even if one is attached to his household life, to his relatives, one should not visit such a house. Generally speaking, as per the Vedic literatures, guests should be treated like Devata. As it is said, Atiti Devo Bhava. One who comes to somebody's house without invitation, he should be treated like a Devata. That means very cordially. One should invite him, ask him to sit down. If possible, he should offer him something like water or whatever is possible for him for some eatables, at least some sweet words, if nothing else. But here Lord Shiva is giving an example that if you are not invited, generally it is said in the Vedas, in certain houses we don't require invitation to go. We go to somebody's house when we are invited. To a friend's house, you don't require an invitation. To your relative's house, you don't require an invitation. To our parents' house, we don't require an invitation. One can go without invitation. But then Lord Shiva is saying, even if one is own father or mother or relative or friend, still one should avoid going to such a person, related person, if that person is disturbed in his mind, if he is angry. So then Prabhupada is saying, Sati may think, oh, does not matter. What is there if my father becomes angry at me? I will tolerate. Isn't it? So Lord Shiva is giving another important understanding that you will not be able to tolerate, because generally one can tolerate even an enemy's arrows, because we know he is my enemy. So one can tolerate, and he can feel the pain for some days. Suppose some enemy, somehow or other, either by arrow or some other weapon, he strikes us. Because of his behavior, we will feel the pain in our heart. And because of his physical injury, we will feel pain in our body. Body injury will go away. And after some time, because the enemy is after all an enemy, and we make up our mind that he is my enemy after all, so we may forget the incident after some time. But Lord Shiva is saying this is not true when one is intimately related. Even if the person who is intimately related, he does not strike you with some weapon, but his words are greater than weapon. The harsh words spoken by someone to whom we are attached can pierce your heart to such an extent that whole life, day and night, it will give you trouble. This is what Lord Shiva is explaining to Sati. So, actually, in Krishna consciousness, we are all related with each other in service of Krishna, in service of Srila Prabhupada. You know, we say Srila Prabhupada built a house in which the whole world can live. So, ours is also a family. In center, keeping in center our spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. And we serve Krishna in accordance to our capacity, cooperating with other devotees in Krishna consciousness. So there is a lot of interaction between the devotees, and so automatically we develop attachment in devotees' circle. So in Krishna consciousness, we have to learn that actually these harsh words They are compared to the arrows which can go and pierce the heart to such an extent that the heart can become so much wounded that the person, day and night, he can be aggrieved because of this. So, how much cautious we should be. Just like the arrows, once released, you cannot take that back. The arrow will go and hits its target. Similarly, the words are like this. If we are not cautious, whatever we speak, so those words, it can be beneficial to other or it can be destructive to other. So we have to be very careful. Our speeches are like that, isn't it? So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining about some austerities we should practice in Krishna conscious life. Rupa Goswami has advised that there are certain Vegas. Vegas means force. Some force is there. Vacho Vegam. To speak is a force. Wherever we go, we want to speak. We hear something, we want to speak. So, there is a force to speak. Manasaha, there is a force of mind. Krodha, there is a force of anger. Udara, there is a force of belly. Upastha, there is a force of genitals. So anyone who can actually tolerate the urges, these urges, the urge to speak, the urges of the mind, the urges of the belly, the urges of genitals, he is considered dhira. So, how one should control these urges, Krishna has given certain directions in Bhagavad Gita. Very nice, and actually if we practice them, we will find that it is very favorable for us to advance in Krishna consciousness. And how one is able to tolerate with higher understanding. When we are on bodily plane, it is difficult for us to control our urges, and at the same time it is difficult for us not to react to situations which may be termed as aggressive. Neither we are able to control, neither we are able to tolerate. But when we come to spiritual plane, we will control our urges to speak harshly, and we will also be able to control and not react to some harsh words of others, and we will be able to tolerate them. And one of the great examples we can see is Lord Shiva. Daksha spoke so many harsh words. Lord Shiva is not affected. Neither he retaliated. He had both the powers. He could tolerate, and if he wanted, he could retaliate, counter that different kinds of unkind words which were spoken against him. But he did not. Because from that spiritual plane, he was able to understand that Daksha is on bodily platform. He's acting on bodily platform. He's not on spiritual platform at all. And one who is in bodily platform, he is no better than an animal. So what can you expect from an animal? Sa eva go khara. Thus, one is not aggrieved because one understands that he is foolish. He is acting ignorantly. He does not know. He is acting forced by the three modes of material nature. He is controlled by his anger. He is controlled by his different lust or anger. These different kinds of vegas are controlling a person. So a person who is advanced in spiritual life, he can very easily tolerate. We see so many examples. Jada Bharat example we see. Jada Bharat was able to tolerate. And he was very compassionate on King Rahuguna. King Rahuguna called him by ill names. He said, "You are like an animal." You can imagine. Jada Bharat is such a great devotee of the Lord, and Rahuguna is calling him, "You are like an animal. You do not know how to walk." You see. And then, out of compassion, Jada Bharat gave him spiritual perspective, spiritual understanding. Then we see the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was rebuked by his own father, but he tolerated everything. And still he was kind. Sometimes we may tolerate, but we will not be kind. Somehow or other we may tolerate, thinking that I have no other way, what can be done? I have to serve here, he is blasting me left and right. Let me tolerate because I want to continue my service. Isn't it? So not only a person who is advanced in spiritual understanding, not only he tolerates, but he is still thinking about the welfare of that ignorant person. So we see so many examples like this. But we also see example that when a person is not on spiritual platform, he can become very affected. And there are instances where one can actually turn even those unfavorable circumstances like insult into determination to serve the Lord. We see the great example of Dhruva. He was also controlled by the modes of passion as a Kshatriya. And for a Kshatriya, dishonor is equal to death. See, it is a fact. Dishonor is equivalent to death. So when Dhruva Maharaj was insulted by the behavior of his stepmother, Suruchi, he took it to his heart. So much so that he went on the advice of his mother to search out for Lord Vishnu so that he can retaliate appropriately to the insult and take a revenge. That yes, you said you are not eligible to sit on your father's lap. So Dhruva wanted to achieve a bigger position than his own father. He wanted to achieve such a position which was never occupied even by Brahma. So that was his determination. And his determination was checked by Narada. Narada advised him. He said, you are a small child. For a small child, what is there? Kind word, unkind word. Isn't it? Just like to a child, you can say you are a fool. He will laugh. But if I tell you you are a fool, isn't it? So for a child, there is no such difference. So Narada told him, you're a small child. Your age is to play. Why have you taken so much to the words of your stepmother? And then Narada also explained, okay, you are not a child, and if you feel no, you are very advanced in your understanding, then these are not a symptom of an advanced person. An advanced person is not inflicted by pains and pleasure and mana and apmana. Why are you so much afflicted? So he said that this is the nature with which I am born. So I am a Kshatriya, and for me to tolerate the pains of apamana, it has hurt me so much that now I see nothing else but to satisfy what my mother has advised. That yes, I want to meet Lord Vishnu, and I want to take from him such a position which in my family none had obtained. So it became a great determination. These kind of insulting words became a great inspiration for him to actually meet Lord Vishnu. And later on, of course, he was completely purified, and he lamented his approach to the Supreme Lord. Sthana Bilashi Tapasi Stitoham. I took so much austerities, penances I did. Can you imagine what kind of penances Dhruva did? 6 months. Few months he did not eat anything, he did not drink anything, he did not even breathe. Such kind of penances he took just to satisfy that vega which was there in him to retaliate, to revenge. But it became a determination to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, we find different kinds of examples in Vedic literatures. We also see the example of great devotee Bilva Mangala Thakur. He was very attached to that prostitute Chintamani. So much he was attached that his father died, and there was a heavy rain, practically it was a storm. Everywhere there was water. Chintamani thought, today I don't think Bilva Mangala will come to my house. But he was so attached, he quickly finished all the rituals of burning his father's body and did not worry about what weather it was. He took help of a dead body, climbed on the dead body, made it like a boat to swim across and come to the house of Chintamani. So much so that the house outside was filled with water. He could not get to the gates. He climbed the window using a snake which was saving its life from the water by hanging on to the window. Using that as a rope, he climbed. and he still reached the house of Chintamani. And when Chintamani saw this kind of attachment which Bilvamangala was having for her, she was astonished. And she said that Bilvamangala, if you had even a little of this attachment to the Lord, your life would have been different. And this one word from Chintamani changed his whole perspective. To the same woman whom he was so attached, just one word of this changed everything. Because these harsh words were spoken for his benefit, and this changed the life of Bilvamangala Thakur. Immediately he renounced everything and went to Vrindavan, and he took away his eyes, because these eyes were his enemies, to see material beauty. And he became such a great devotee of the Lord that Lord Krishna would daily come to give him milk. And he wrote so many wonderful literatures about Krishna which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would relish. So, these are the things that either we have to slowly raise our consciousness, we have to become advanced in spiritual life, wherein we don't become affected by harsh words or sweet words, isn't it? Or if we are not in that position, we should utilize any of those circumstances to at least advance in Krishna consciousness. That maybe Krishna wants me to become more humble. Krishna is giving me a chance to practice humility, isn't it? So we have to take it as an advantage for our Krishna conscious life. Just like Prabhupada used to say, that it's a common saying, but Prabhupada used that when for the first time Prabhupada was conducting Rath Yatra and the Ratha failed. It was not built properly because it was in the beginning times. So Prabhupada wrote back that failure is a success, is a stepping stone to success. You see, Prabhupada used that word. It's a common saying, failure is a stepping stone to success. That means failure can also be used for our advantage. So similarly, devotees should learn to use even unfavorable circumstances to advance in Krishna consciousness. We see the example of Dhruva Maharaj, isn't it? So, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there are different kinds of austerities. And one of the very important austerity is the austerity of speech, which we should learn. I'll just read that, very interesting. The three austerities, austerity of the body, austerity of the speech, and austerity of the mind. So these are all meant for us to learn and practice. So we should all practice these kind of austerities. Austerity of body is easy to practice. Most of us are doing that austerity of the body. Austerity of speech is very difficult. Austerity of mind is also difficult. But this is what we should try to practice as sadhakas. So first is austerity of the body. Deva Dvija Guru Pragna Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. What is the austerity of the body? It consists in worship of Supreme Lord, Brahmanas, spiritual master and superiors like father and mother, and cleanliness, simplicity in life. See? So that means giving respect to the superiors, like even father and mother, they are our superiors. How much more we should be respectful to the Brahmanas and to the spiritual master. This is what is taught as an austerity for the body. We have to pay our respects to the superiors. Then, what is the other austerity of the body? Maintaining cleanliness of the body. Then, maintaining a simple life, not complicating our demands, not extra kinds of facilities which are required. We should minimize what is required for our body. Whatever is comfortably required, we should be happy with that. We should not complicate our life. So simplicity. Another important austerity of the body is celibacy. If we don't practice brahmacharya, body becomes polluted. It is no more clean, it is unclean. So brahmacharya and non-violence, this is for the body. Then, for the speech, anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swa adhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. So as you can see, anudvega karam vakyam. One should speak words which will not agitate the minds of others. This is very important for devotees to practice. We should not speak words which will agitate the minds of others. Priyahitam, rather speak those words which will be beneficial to others. So I'll read this. Prabhupada says, austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, satyam, pleasing, priyahitam, beneficial and not agitating to others. So there are 4 things in speech. Whatever we speak should be truthful. This is very important for the devotees especially. Sometimes, as I was explaining in my other classes also, sometimes we may take the examples of great devotees like Sanatana Goswami thinking that he also spoke untruth sometimes. Isn't it? But that is for a different purpose. Not that in association of devotees we take to untruth. No. So we should speak words which are truthful, then pleasing, words which are pleasing to others and which are meant for their benefit. Prajalpa is not meant for benefit. Criticism is not meant for benefit. All these things we should avoid. We should understand that yes, it is austerity. Why I should speak critically? Then, not agitating to others and also regularly reciting Vedic literature, Swadhyaya. This is the austerity of speech. Then, finally, the austerity of mind. I'll just read that. Satisfaction. Very important. What is the austerity of mind? We are satisfied in all circumstances. One should be satisfied. I don't have this craving, isn't it? Or wanting, I want this. Or lamenting, I don't have this, this was taken away from me. you didn't do this, you did this. I was having some facility, you have taken away all those facilities. Lamenting and craving, dissatisfaction of the mind. So we should always understand that what is there? Everything is in the hand of the Supreme Lord. Somebody becomes an instrument for something. Whatever situation I am having today, I may blame someone, but actually finally it is sanctioned by the Lord, isn't it? So if I am not accepting that situation, that means actually I don't accept the authority of the Lord. So satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control and purification of one's existence are the austerities of mind. So there are certain important things is what we can learn here, and that is what Lord Shiva is telling to Sati, that you are still on the platform of attachment to your relatives. So at that platform, you will not be able to tolerate the words, harsh word which your father is going to speak against me. In that, when you visit your house, he will be angry at you and you will not be able to tolerate. And we see the result. Final result is she is not able to tolerate, and she gives up the same very body which she had obtained from her father. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki